So I've been on a little break over the past month or so, but you guys are very persistent in your comments and how excited you are for me to react to this, which I'm surprised because a lot of people said they really don't like this album on my Discord and just generally from Radiohead stuff I've looked up. Of course, a lot of people do love it too. As with any album from a rock band that is well loved, there is mixed opinions on the more divisive albums, but there are still vehement supporters of this album. So we'll see which side I end up in this reaction. I'm keeping an open mind. I heard this one's very weird, more electronic, which is kind of the stuff I fall away from sometimes with Radiohead. But like I said, keep an open mind. See where we go. Let's do it. You guys decided for me to do the studio version before the live one from the basement. So that's what we're doing. Okay, 24 seconds in and I already have to pause. So with Radiohead, it's interesting because there's basically no reference point for something like this for me because I have not gone into the more experimental side of music. It's not really something that calls to me very often, so I have nothing to compare this to, nothing to value this against. So this is just like completely foreign to me. So see if it stands up on its own. Literally just rolled out of bed and was like, I need to get this reaction done now. What? The bass line sounds something out of like a sultry, jazzy song. And then you get that drum machine, or whatever that is. The intro sound is really cool too. The kind of monotonous, unfortunately somewhat obnoxious drum parts definitely remind me of the studio version of Videotape. I actually don't think Tom's voice sounds as good here as it does on some of his work. I'm assuming it's an intentional artistic choice, but he almost sounds like disinterested here. I like that part. That's pretty cool. There's a few things layering on top of his vocals to make it really give like this thick, spacious sound. If that bass line was like in any other song, like a song that it's typically designed for, I would be like all over it. But it kind of like clashes here. I feel like this song gives hints of greatness, but it's more like scattered than I would hope it to be. It's like individually, almost all of the pieces are astounding, but when you put them together, it doesn't feel like they mesh as well as they could. And perhaps this is, again, me being kind of a novice to the experimental side of music, but that's my first takeaway from it. It's also something that if I came back to it, I might enjoy it more and more as I listen to and get more familiar with this style. But it's hard to say. You know, a first listen is just that. It's a first listen. So take that with a grain of salt. Ooh, nice transition. So if this album is completely plagued with those really almost off-kilter drum machine and looping drum parts, it might not hit me as hard as I hope it would. But we'll see if there's a change up. There's other songs in their discography that do have those kind of loopy parts that have grown on me over time. So this is why I created that retrospective on OK Computer, that video. I'll link it up in the top. But it's because opinions do change over time and tastes develop over time. So if something doesn't hit me super hard the first time, by no means is that me discounting the value of that song if it means a lot to you. So let's move on to Morning Mr. Magpie, which there was a good transition into. This reminds me a little bit more of something that could be out of In Rainbows or something, almost. It sounds a little brighter. It's kind of, again, it's got like a scattered feel to it, though, almost. Which, in this way, I don't think this is negative. There's such like jagged, striking notes here. I'm just imagining playing some of these parts live. Like, how do they not get lost? Because they're just so, they feel so random. I know they're not, they're calculated, but I feel like losing your place could be so easy here. I wonder if they're getting that guitar effect by using some really quick delay. And that's mostly on the left side, and the right side we got these really spacious guitar notes being played. I like the contrast. Ooh. That is a cool bass part too, to fit in. See, this is a moment where everything feels like it fits together perfectly. And all the parts individually are super cool, but then together they're even stronger, which is not the feeling I got out of Bloom. I know there is a strong and passionate audience for the type of music that came out of Bloom, but this is something that resonates more with me. I do really like this. Sometimes I just wonder, like, how do they even make these sounds? See, and I actually do just prefer the drum part in this one, too. What is that meant to be? Sounds like a vacuum or something. But like bit crushed or something. What? Just when you feel like you pinpointed where Radiohead's going with something, they do this. Where the heck did this come from? What is this? This is so cool though. See, I want to call that a walking bass line or something, but I don't think the bass was actually even playing there. It's just like an acoustic guitar. And I don't know what that instrument was at the beginning. It sounded almost like a sitar or something. Definitely don't know what you're going to get. And every time you think you're going to know, well... Okay, this is my favorite one so far. And they're actually harmonizing with that walking bass line as well. There's other notes being played by another guitar on the right that are not the same. And I think this is my favorite vocal performance on the album as well so far. Something about this one, even on the Radiohead albums that are not people's favorites, there are still songs like this that just pull you in and will refuse to let go. I don't have much to say about this, I'm just enjoying it. Sometimes you just gotta let me have that. I don't think I've ever heard a song that sounded like this. I don't know how they managed to still be doing that after years of me reacting to them, I believe. His voice is really fading into the background here, which is obviously intentional again. I think they really were proud of this instrumental and they wanted it to stand out even more. Definitely can see why. This is going to be the last one on this half of the reaction. This is back to the heavy drum machine feel, or programmed feel, or looped feel, which I don't have a problem with if the instrumental over it is really good, like with Idiotech, for example. What? It's weird. This one sounds programmed, but real at the same time. If you guys have any interesting tidbits about this album, please let me know down below, because I feel like somebody said something about this album having a bunch of interesting things going for it. That was a cool bass line. Ooh, I love the dynamic changes within the drumming. Maybe this is all played. Oh, that super low frequency fuzz. It sounds quite electronic, but it is so wide. I hate to say it, but songs like this almost give me an ASMR quality, where like the intention is almost to just mess around with these really cool sounds in a really pleasing way. That is bizarre. The drum's like stacking on top of itself or something. That synth bass, I'm assuming it's synth bass, because that's sound synthy. That's definitely my favorite piece of this song. I think I've come to realize that, like, I just think I really don't get that type of music. It's not made for me. I don't think I'll ever really be fully into that style. But I appreciate that there is an audience for that. And some of you will swear by those songs, like Feral, that it's just something that really connects with you in whatever way. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they go out on a limb, pun intended, to experiment and try these new things. I would much rather have bands go in this direction, where they're trying weird new stuff and having it not exactly work for me, than do things by the books. I think this is the way that great music is created, is by pushing the boundaries and trying new things like that, even if it doesn't work for me all the time. So that's my first part of this reaction. I will try to have the next part up within the next couple weeks. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. See you later. Bye. Thanks for being patient with this one, by the way, too. See ya.